Alright, where were we? I'm looking for Ruby. I need hand-eye coordination to examine the bullet any better. Do I have a level? I do. Kind of forget what else I wanted to use this for. But I kind of just... Oh, I already pumped this up so much. I just pump it again. Do I have any thoughts I want to learn? There's the Koldama Madakwa. There's finger guns. Finger guns are pretty great. I'm already generating my date of birth. I think I just pumped this. TBH. Get this investigation going. Can I pump my hand-eye? Bonus from items 1. Let's give it a shot. Nice. A rifle. Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46mm from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique. Retrofit. It's widely used as the Bell McGraw rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. No one's making them, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there's a lot floating around. The quality was appalling. Who's got them? Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for a well-preserved antique. It's an AK-47. What are you thinking? Bullet? Have to hand it to the monarchs, it's quite admirable that they took the advice of criminologists last century and banned the use of breech loaders in peacetime. The ultra-liberals got some gun control passed, huh? Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-graded weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end. Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles... What? Prohibiting front-loaded rifles to peacetime law enforcement, I think, is a policy enforced by the Moralist International and all the nations of the Real Belt. I think she had bigger guns. Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. Wait, that would be insane. After the first shot, second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation. Dude, what a terrible, terrible world that would be. This does not follow. This doesn't really follow. Well, that was interesting, but it didn't exactly crack the case wide open. What time is it? Like 5 p.m.? I have time to go check out the coast. The musty smell of a potato cellar in spring emanates from the air vent.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing.
Think of the economy. Had decades-old concrete defenses. Children play on them. Also $1 and change. That don't look good. This is it, the scene of the party. Fire pit, cigarettes, and empty bottles all evidence it. Looks like they hear a wild from all the bottles. Sunken motor carriage provide them a focal point, like a goose ice sculpture, or a chocolate fountain. Looks like fun. That didn't go anywhere. Get a sudden sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea. Jacob Ure? Who's that? Wait a minute. I don't have a character roster. I completely forget who that is. I can level up again. Shit. You say something, Kitsuragi? He just answered that. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. Single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched yet. Well, let's hang out. As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent. The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. %72%. Spit flies from your mouth to your mustache, your chest, the ground before you. No sound, though. The lieutenant must think it's rather funny. He smiles and quickly turns away. I'm not giving up. His lips puckered, the lieutenant lets out a beautiful melodic trill that puts even the insulintic thrush to shame. You hear the sound echo on the large body of water. Clouds race across the spring sky, and suddenly you just feel better about everything. Alright, that's better than what you did. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion. Ask him if his dad also had trouble seeing. I'm going with the anthill versus leeches question. I'd rather sit on an anthill for an hour or stand in a river of leeches. Well, historically leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments. Okay, he's thinking, I can do this, let's do this. Who'd want to sit on an anthill? There are no therapeutic benefits. Well, napalm ants, for example, are used in some rites of passage rituals. Rite of passage? I think that's the wrong rite. Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass. Let's talk about politics, Kim. Luckily, I'm already a member of an independent organization, therefore don't have to choose between a rock and a hard place. Someone puts a gun to your head. I feel like this is taunting him about his eyesight. I should just say. Do you know something about the driver of this vehicle? I'm going with underground street racing hierarchy. But it could also be the number of a police precinct. Precinct 41, your precinct. Well, I don't see what that has to do with anything. A massive pit opens up in your stomach and the most terrible feeling comes over you. No, just no. Say no to this, Harry. I'm saying no. Yeah, your car's in the sea. Face it so we can start dealing with this. I'm not facing it. I'm afraid, yeah, it looks like you started in front of the rolling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle into the sea, right here. I can still fix it. Alright, I've been in denial enough. It's time to just face it. Interact with something. Or not. Thick blue piece of acrylic covering a thin leaf of paper with the officer's name and rank on it. Found my badge. Next to the writing, I see a man stare back at you. A younger version of you, already disintegrating inside but still presentable on the outside. Police badge on which you see the photo of a man, you, some seaweed stuck to the back. Like something good came out of all this. Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information, and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, document number, date of issue, and in the lower right corner, precinct. Accept it, don't accept it. Not gonna call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you and detective when he's not. Badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information. Man keeps winking at you with his green-gray eyes. Photo's old. But the badge is new. Used an old photo for a new badge. How old? Maybe 8, 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut. Is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. Why do you think he's winking? His face is already contorted by the expression, though it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. Badge in your hands shines. Lieutenant Double Yefreiter. Lieutenant is a rank above sergeant, below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM, still does field work. I'm a lieutenant. Title of Yefreiter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank, in your case, captain. You've declined twice, thus you're double Yefreiter. Yefreiter? I don't know. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's decomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. Sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available in their current rank, in your case, lieutenant. I am a heavy-duty case-solving machine. The comptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos. Countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the Revolution, which in turn was developed by last-century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein. Lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are patrol officers, sergeants, lieutenants, captain. That's basically it, except for a few kinks. Kinks like satellite officers and the Yefreiter rank, I already explained. So you've been putting up with my bullshit because I'm your superior. Well, I'm not, right? You're given title satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with them. You don't seem to be a satellite. I'm not gonna mention it. I'm not his superior, right? We're both lieutenants. This doesn't require an explanation. Pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better? Probably, yeah. A lot can happen in 4 months, though, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you. Of that, you are sure. Precinct 41, like mine says 57. 57 is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. 41st is, it's a tough station to work in. You have all Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is. And again, a faint smile. It's a legendary district, and a hell of a station, too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdyaeva, and me. Roberts, Feuerbach, Demetri. Suddenly names from your decomptage flash in your forebrain. He knew all those people, though they're not from his station. They must be big. Seems the walker was confused or drunk out of his mind. That doesn't sound like me. Dried tulips on a bed. The worn and beaten wooden planks of the bench do not look overly comforting. We can sit on benches after we've solved the murder. Let's go. You can revisit the bench if you ever need to pass the time when Kitsuragi's gone. Allez-vous? Let me just crank up my empathy a little bit here. Don't call Abigail, grumbles an unshaven man with a ruddy nose. He narrows his eyes at you as if in recognition, then turns his head away. The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her, you don't call Abigail.
I am law.
Oh, Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
Abigail. Not gonna. Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life, but this guy's a little too drunk. I gotta follow up on this Abigail thing. Beckons you to lean in closer. You're not gonna get me that way. Well, I talked at him until he passed out.
Hey, tequila!
Idiot doom spiral. 30-something man clad in a two-piece lycra tracksuit puts down his pilsner and extends his hand in greeting.
Good to see ya. How's business? How's the old reality situation treating ya?
I want to shake your hand.
So what's happening? Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
Says it like it's obviously your name, like you call someone Billy Brunel, or leader of the 4th Street Gang. People know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later. I have re-entered reality to conquer it, to bend it to my will. I am the law. Reality makes me aggressively sad.
It's good
I'm
to
getting
be on
used to
top
it.
of things. Talking about the youth, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker? Sadly, things ain't going that well in Idiot Doom Spiral land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of arse back. No word from my business buddies.
Feels bad. Idiot Doom Spiral, huh? It's bound to be a good high concept conversation. At last. Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys. It's a touchy subject. He hasn't gotten laid in a while. He really doesn't know who Ruby is, though. You guys do around here? We're saving the world. Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol, that's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower, but it didn't work out. So now it's a pirate's life for me. Maybe? You look like you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be. You look like you want to hear the tale. Something ominous here. For some reason, the name Tequila fills me with foreboding. Maybe I shouldn't learn what it means. Nah. Go ahead. Let me take a sip to moisten up my cords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. By Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth. Let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting. You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to beat early bird who gets the worm. By the worm, I mean the buzz, because as far as I know, all you did was get pissed drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a cop, and that'd be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept, if you ask me. It is. That sound like something you'd do? Yeah. The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He's listening as casually as he can. Well, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, were getting our drink on. Nothing remarkable about that. We get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling. One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs. Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard? Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anyone who don't own a pair of ears. That's the reality we're in. Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal, grabbed our brewskis, rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. And what we saw was a sight to behold. Beat up police carriage containing you, right there on the beach. You revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs. The time hath come. So naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, to which you replied, the time hath come for tequila sunset, the end of all things. Saying nothing, it's more dignified that way. Every word I said was true. Tequila sunset will break the looms of reality. I'm gonna stand by it. Yeah, looms, why not? Then you jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty and through the ice. We ran towards the ice. You crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. Finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It's too late to get in there, the carriage had sunk too deep. In this way, you and your motor carriage have a lot in common. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us. Naturally, you agreed to. Asked about the whole tequila sunset thing. You told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on. Tequila sunset, an event or a name? I don't know. I think you were the event. Tequila sunset, you know, as opposed to a tequila sunrise, which is long gone. So how long we party? Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, he got belligerent, wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. One of them fucked you up real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, left without saying anything. It's quite a story. I bet Tequila's a fucking legend around the precinct. You must be proud to work with him. If only you knew. I'd say anything about this person who fucked me. Well, you're pretty vague about it. You kept saying you got fucked real hard, and we've all been fucked too. Please don't open that door. No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here. Seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through that shit. Did I mention losing anything else besides your gun and your badge? You said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, it's a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too. That's a big one. About your colleagues, you told us they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style. No specifics though. It's more about you that night. You were the star of the show. About the case, said it was no biggie, you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now. A lot of cops go solo and hermit once they reach that level of alcoholism. It's not meant as a joke. He's sorry for the hermit cop. Talk about politics? Well, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners are fucking us all over just like that woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve. He takes a long sip of beer. I like that. We got like capitalists. Street alcoholic here. You apologize a lot for being such a bad cop and for the damage you've inflicted. Oh no, sorry, cop. You seem like you're characterized by your storytelling ability. The gleam in his eyes and the slouch in his posture, so familiar. Hey Lou Morgo 1, how's quarantine treating you? Not bad. I'm able to get all the food I want, you know, I'm not sick. Hope say the same for you and yours. Playing video games? You know what's not to like? Other than all the dead people and that. You might get scammed here. You want booze? I don't want it, man. I need it. I can't tell stories without it. Dry stories are boring, you see. I'll give him some alcohol. Shut up, guys, and tell a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, idiot, doom spiral. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. Founder / junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me, so I went jogging every so often just to keep myself sane. How many people do you have working for you? 22 full-time employees, all-star team, potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours. Jogging did help. My trusty sans-serif tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit, he says thoughtfully, brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets. His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes. So I removed the keyring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality of the situation became very wet, very fast. It was wet, okay. It was raining really hard. Made my way back home and discovered I didn't have the key to the front gate. I mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There's no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. I think he didn't like me interrupting him back there. I'm gonna let him go. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me, lying on my ass in a mud pit, middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So, I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling in my pockets, I realized I had also forgotten my apartment key. Doing alright, love this game though. Yeah, this game's cool so far. Well, I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something, hung up before I could explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I can relate. Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm in there. But when I reached the office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that very day, and since I hired only the best, he'd already done it. I couldn't get in. Long story short, life spiraled out of control. Having gotten into my apartment for years, my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, you see where I'm going with this. So now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? It's like nothing you ever heard, huh? I literally can't believe it. Me neither, Tequila. When I lost my keys, I lost more than access to my apartment. I also lost my leverage over humanity. I wasn't a high-concept creative director anymore. I was just a homeless asshole with a premium Sanseek Lycra junk tracksuit. Can't imagine what that does to a man's confidence. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty in this one. Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, I think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit. Used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. Had a nice apartment, even nicer piece of ass, but somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, and I lost it too. Only things I haven't lost are these two drunks. You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with. Sure. Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It's practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. He looks at you bleary-eyed. You're a detective, right? Maybe you could help old Doom spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket, what do you say? If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, walking along the beach, checking out the abandoned fish market. Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around. Agency was the Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. Convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. Artists were happy, clients were happy. Financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language. Then it all went to shit. It sounds like it makes no sense, it's because it doesn't. Mixing oil painting and breasts to make ads isn't high art, it's just cynical winkery. I think I have art opinions now. I'm trying to be an artist. Maybe you're right, but we were fucking rich. Feels bad. Ooh, I gotta buff my interfacing before I give this a shot. Interfacing, but bam. Wonderful.
Tequila sunset.
Oof. It is nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched this. Randomized trials have also found lycra to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers, so you have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell, but you don't even want to think about that. Sure. Well, the tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend particular to Martinez. That said, I first heard it from a former bicycle courier in Quran. There are many variations on the basic story, and the details often conflict. What everyone agrees on is that nobody knows the exact nature or identity of the phenomenon. Telling the story of the headless. Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. Summer 44. 17-year-old Gertrude Head is walking home from a late shift at the harbor. It's almost midnight. She stops for a cigarette near the canal. Our heroine finds herself enjoying the peace and quiet the canal provides. What she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind her comes the clattering of hooves. Startled, she turns around. What does she see? A horse would make sense. Well, yeah, it's the man on the horse that's of interest here. A man. The pause is long and dramatic. With no head on his shoulders, wearing a FALN tracksuit. Searching for the legendary felon cap that went missing when he lost his head. Whoa. Whoa was right, my friend. Gertrude Het may have been the first to witness the headless FALN rider. She wasn't the last. Tell them about the two feminists by the locks. Fuck, Rosemary, they were dating. No one said they were feminists. Everyone always misremembering this stuff. This wouldn't be the DuPont Delgado case, would it? Right. Early autumn of 46. Ulla DuPont and Eva Delgado are fishing near the waterlock long after the sun is set. The wind picks up. A sky already dark now blackens. Water starts falling from above, the first cold rain of the season. The women are caught in the downpour. They act quickly. Eva gathers the rods whilst Ulla turns around to reach for the tackle box. Don't turn around. When she sees something, her shriek is so violent the residents of the nearby apartment building believe lightning has struck. But there is no lightning, only a heavy downpour and the silhouette of the headless FALN rider looming on the horizon. Ulla makes a run for the shore, but Eva slips on a wet rock and disappears into the cold, cold canal with nary a sound. The man falls ominously silent for a moment, then looks you straight in the eye and says, "Her body is never recovered." Thus came about this ship. Well, naturally, Ulla DuPont became the prime suspect in the disappearance of Eva Delgado. DuPont maintained it was the so-called headless FALN rider, and that she ran for her life. He adjusts his glasses. During the investigation, it became apparent there was a love triangle, the third party being some small-time businessman. I don't remember the exact details. Leading theory was that an argument broke out on the jetty, and DuPont pushed Delgado into the canal, then cooked up this stupid-ass cover story. She arrested? No. She committed suicide before she could be taken into custody. They found her in the bathroom with a rifle, her face slowly peeling off the ceiling. Not a pretty scene. I'm not gonna try to one-up this guy. Stories are his thing. Be cool. Some say he was an undercover cop who blew his cover, got beheaded by the vicious gang he had infiltrated. Now he rides, searching for his lost FALN cap, plotting revenge. Others claim he was a professional jockey, veered off course during a steeplechase, ended up in somebody's backyard, and got decapitated by an exceptionally taut clothesline. Personally, I think he was just some guy who hanged himself from a really tall tree. The fall was so violent his head came off. Coincidentally, at that exact moment, a horse happened to pass under him and his beheaded corpse mounted it, where it remains to this day. But no one knows for sure. For some reason, this does strike you as the most plausible theory of them all. Isn't it? All the pieces just fit together perfectly. No one knows what became of him. Some say he stalks matinees to this day. He can be seen near the canal when the clock strikes midnight. Good on you, idiot Zoom Spiral. Got the Chapo boys to voice those dudes. That is funny. But it makes sense. This is their kind of game. Scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. I don't think questioning 4-year-olds without their parents present is gonna crack the case. You're bad with kids, the lieutenant remarked with evident glee. It's impossible to be good with kids, they're too stupid. Alright, see you kids. Kitsuragi's got me there. Primer for small kids. Oh my god. A textbook for the first grade in primary school. On the cover, a humanoid bear is pushing a wheelbarrow full of letters. He's not doing a very good job. The letter S is dangerously tangling from the cart. Dangling? Well, E fell off a long time ago. Children should pay more attention. Primer for small kids. This book will show you the score, get you oriented with those basic concepts you appear to be hazy on. You're gonna learn the alphabet. Is this for kids though? Let's consider. Loud in them. Estaba. Good, I also know the alphabet. Today I learned. Just walk into this house at random. I'm a cop. I can do whatever I want. Take this taxidermy. I don't care. Little Lily. Hello, mister. Young girl, barely 4 or 5 years old, sits on the sofa. She is looking at you with frank curiosity. She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally she twirls it around. What's that? It's Lammy. He's my friend. Lammy is a stuffed lamb that admittedly has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, the fur is tattered in several parts. Nice to meet you, Lammy. Lammy doesn't usually like strangers, but you're also fuzzy like Lammy. Cool. My mom tells me that I'm a big girl, but she doesn't know that I can't say L. Kids. Big heavy gloves. Where'd you get them gloves? Found them when Lamb and I were playing hide and seek in an empty house where no one lives. I think someone hid them there. Twins were gonna take them. They're stupid. They're in my sandcastle, behind our house, under the sand. You can break the castle, it's not very good. They look identical. She slowly processes the word, then snickers with laughter. Might be able to get on guard's good side to make up for the score you broke. Sure, I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. Looks angry. Who's guard? I already forget the names. Is that the guy in the It must be the guy I'm paying to stay in his hostel. Dude, the shore is full of great stuff. I got my badge. I can tell Everard to fuck off. Oh no, Everard's finding me my gun. Shit. I can't tell him to fuck off. There's the mom. Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network. The little castle? Lieutenant smiles a bit. The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it slip into such decrepitude. Level up. The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse, and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets. With the gauntlets down, we're doing good on the armor collection front. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed. Not sure about the melody, but it might be South Sumerian, possibly Sagayan, also known as the apricot suzerainty.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Pump up the volume a little bit here.
I still have a golden ear. Come. Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
We're cops. We're hellraisers. Bang, bang.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Wish you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen. No, not you personally. I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there. He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet. Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black Hound.
Yeah. That's you, alright. Black Hound licking your own heels.
You're not. No one around here considers us an ill omen. People would have told us.
Oh yeah?
Maybe we're afraid. Because you're
Face
an
facts,
ill
Kim.
omen, but you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park your motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
It's a good question, ma'am. There's honor in retrieving lost things. It's not for me, I'm on a philosophical journey to fetch it for someone. I'm gonna go the honorable route. Laundry fetchers are some of the most honorable people I know. Her smile gleams like a freshly honed knife. You're fetching someone's missing laundry free of charge? I have anything better to do? In fact, he does. None of my business either way. How you spend your time is up to you. Anyhow, you might ask Lillian if she's seen anything. That girl's got a way of attracting lost and broken things. I.e., she's a thief. You know what I meant. This little bitty's no snitch, huh? This is bullshit. Do I try to bullshit her? Give her the full name. She is not impressed by a cop running errands for a local bigwig. Not in the least. Can't really blame her. This is pretty much a non-place. She grins. A gap. Blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street. The place is so pornographically poor it's not even funny. Isn't that what people always think when they're lost? Old military hospital and its surroundings. Or it used to be during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shocked veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses, shacks as far as the eye can see. Goodwill ran out. Staff left, place was shut down, it's long gone. Well, there's Lillian and her kids, a few new folks live in the house to the east, but they're away right now. And then there's the drunks. There's music from across the sea. It started a few days ago. Now it's blasting through the night. Now suspicious looking people are sneaking around the church. I don't like it. Interesting. Half light. Tremble. The time is now. Thaola. Time for the show. For Taola, the hallowed time of fear and disintegration. A countdown has begun. All will collapse on itself. The world will disappear into a single grain of blackness. All sound will be muted. All life will scream. Ulogu, Diantos, Sunu. If I remembered more Greek words, I would tell you what that all meant. Yes, you spoke the words of the Palintropos and the houses of Periconarsus. Items, people, even words will tumble. All will lose its meaning in the coming years. That is why you marked yourself. It's totally a coping mechanism. So you should be. The rolled island crumbles at your feet, and in the far plain, Palintropos. Perhaps this has something to do with the hangover. The face of the woman fractures. There will be herd killing. We all become vapor. Kind of feeling like an apocalypse cop. Not as much as I am a superstar cop, though. Or a sorry cop, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Rambling madman. Minus to rhetoric. You woke up in a hotel room and started rambling about the end of the world. It's not your normal everyday doom crying either. Something truly colossal is approaching. The gloaming, the culling, the bloodletting of unimaginable proportions. Till now you've been pleasantly vague about the precise nature of this cataclysm. No more. Put the bloodletting on the burner and really figure out what's threatening the fragile physical reality you found yourself in. Let's do it, dude. Where's Lillian? That her?
Aye, officer.
Woman in a raincoat stands on the quay, considering an overturned boat. A sword and a scabbard hangs from her hip. Factory balanced, bakelite, stainless steel.
Anything I can help you with? A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium. The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place. The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions, and that was actually the second one.
Phenomenon that the sexual hand theory of the market fails to account for. What do you do around here? Like I said, fish mostly. Sail the waves, take care of the kids, pick nets. Right now I'm tarring a little skiff. Sometimes I also walk the beach to see what the sea has given up. The sea is full of surprises. Keep it professional, man. Don't make it sound like you're hitting on her. Walking on the beach sounds quite romantic. Alright, major choice moments. You only get to ask one thing. It would be weird to say them all. Choose wisely. Should put emphasis on the mine. The RCM could use a mine. The RCM has to wait for another one, because some army folks came by and took it in the middle of the bay and blew it up. Blast was surprisingly timid for such a huge spiky thing. Thought what? The Everart and the Union have nice plans for anything. Thought they only cared about themselves. Huh. I guess Union members have children too. So I asked you. It's a youth center, I have children. Gotta give them something to do. They're cute and small now, but they're growing up fast. I had my first drink when I was 11, because I was so bored. Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. It's a bad idea, she won't sign. You'll find she's a tougher nut to crack than I was. Sound logic, division of labor. She leaves the skepticism to the skeptic. Looking for a lot of people, lady. People who look for animals that mainstream scientists deny exist. Two-eyed guy's been wandering around here, nose in the sand, talking nonsense about snowmen. Well, not just snowmen, also green men, monkey men, burning rhinos, you get the idea. Oh, you're getting it. It is gorgeous. I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. That's where they're heading. What else are you looking for besides snowmen? I've been out on the sea most of the past week. The weather's been good for fishing, so I usually start at 4 in the morning. That's the optimal time. Gotta make the most of the calm. Been sleeping like a corpse after that. The sea really takes its toll. Now I'm just waiting for the wind to settle to get out there again. Sorry I couldn't help out. Maybe I could help you find someone else. Nice sword. Fortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of story. It's to intimidate folks. It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy. From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. It's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men, and believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time. Why don't more women arm themselves, if it's so effective? Who says they don't? I don't know anything about the world. Can I borrow your sword? Do I need a sword? Well, some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned, others more thick-headed. One of them I ended up marrying. I'm gone. I would never leave anyone. Gone to the waves. The sea took him a long time ago. He didn't respect the sea. Went out there drunk as a skunk. Sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago and I have moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles. You should have thrown yourself in the waves after him, nods sagely. Yeah, death is nothing. I shit on death. Oh, I don't. But us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. Buried him, mourned an appropriate amount of time, and went on. She glances at the village where 2 little kids are playing with what look like rocks. Life didn't really change much for me and the kids. This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, and better drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action. Heroic. This is a white check. This is a white check? Really? -6, don't know a good spot yet. Explore the coast. Why is this a white check? I'm not gonna bother getting shot down. I'll explore the coast before I go on a date with Lillian. It's a dating sim now. Also, it's like late at night.
I'll just keep the cordially in the channel if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier. Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course, jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty. Hello, detectives. It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now. So I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell. How do I like it?
She casts her gaze toward the village, slush melting on the cinder blocks. Construction work left half finished 10 years ago. Water drips down eaves of eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. Smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street
I said the
has
same
no
thing.
name. All the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there? I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull gray metal rests in her scabbard, a sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
Politics time. Let's react. Place is doomed either way. I'm an apocalypse cop now. Have I told you how they discovered this place? Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty. Oblivion, that's so me. I knew you would sympathize. Most Revacholians would never know what this place means, our home, this island of matter, or why they were ferried over in the first place. I'm going to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location? By love you did. Seaweed drips from the badge in your hand. It smells of fish. New boots. The buzz of electric lights blends together with the slow rumble of ocean waves at night. There's a gap where the name of that song should be. You should ask her about it right now. I can't really sleep anymore, only a few hours at night. Happens when you grow older. My suggestion is don't. Don't grow any older than you already are. That's old enough. She smiles. Unfortunately, lady, I think I'm going to take your advice. The song's a lullaby that my mother used to sing. Sang it to my kids too. It's an old Sumerian children's song. Surrender to the night. It's kind of grim for a children's song, even if it's a lullaby. Leanne should let her sword make her decisions. The girl just doesn't have the head for it. Either way, I won't sign. I've seen it all before. I think you've got our interests at heart. Rich men are always selling poor men promises they never plan to keep. She pulls a dark red rag out of the bucket and puts it back. And the poor get pushed out of their homes, and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So no, I don't trust the fat man. Neither should you. In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. It's that simple. There's no changing it. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her. Harrier's a good name. It's helping me out here. There's this guy, Gart, who makes me give him money every night just so I don't die out in the cold. That's how they get you. That's why I built around cinder block houses on the seaside, so I don't have to give any money to those crooks. Don't want a free room? Wait, I'm a communist though, right? So I should take it. The room's pretty bare bones, but it's got a bed and a roof. When Vossen communist revolutionary Ignace Nielsen was in hiding, he stayed in a hut on the Boreal Plateau for 10 months. Be the first chapter of my Rags to Riches memoir. Now this is real with Revacholian hospitality. That Gart must be half-kipped or something. Oh no. Unfortunate that the incremental development hasn't elevated this neighborhood yet. I see potential here. Sounds fine. An uncomplicated man, she nods approvingly. Don't make an old woman regret opening her houses to the police. If you're not in the hostel in the morning, I know where to find you. Here, in a shack. It's a little relieved that you're no longer in that room. Trust the tenant. DOB generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell. The old military hospital on the ground floor where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go. The fires are still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard. This was 44 years ago. You are 44 years old. The bloating might never leave your face, but beneath it, you still have some years left. You still have some hope. Learning cap for logic raised to 4. -1 difficulty to all FYS passives. What's FYS? Oh, it's physique, probably. What did I want to do out here? I wanted to give Gart that bird, but he's way back in the hostel. Find a jacket. Well, I can get into her shack immediately. Oh, forgot my push to talk. The door has seen better days. The layer of paint has started to peel off due to the salt and wind from the sea. Even the lock looks slightly rusted. It's getting late. I'll let you sweep this place on your own. I'm sure you can handle the washerwoman. I'll be sleeping in my room in Rolling. We'll meet in front of the shack in the morning. Good night. Try not to break the case without me. Well, I've gotten rid of Kim. I can level up, huh? Let's try to get rid of the expression. It's freaking me out. Oh, this is still so hard. Oh my god. Ooh, +2 to interfacing. God damn. Not that easy. See, look, the floorboards in this corner of the shack, it's clear one of them isn't quite level. The edge of a floorboard next to it looks scratched. The hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out the mixture of sand and sawdust below. Something bad's here. Someone's night thoughts. A last resort, a bad idea. You stick your hand in and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like outside. Find dust, and then something hard wrapped in paper. Small cylindrical object. You pull out a bullet. 9mm bullet. Fit for all muzzleloaders of that caliber. You have enough to confront her with it. It's extra ammunition. She's locked and loaded, ready to fight some cops. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling this isn't ammunition against you. It's for herself. Time to shave. Get these mutton chops off. The water reflects back a vague image of your face. Nose bulbous and red, hair unkempt, wrinkles lining the eyes and forehead. The stash is gigantic. A fresh start looms ahead. Clean yourself up and be born anew. Like an artist with a brush or a master swordsman, use the small mirror and the straight razor with some soap to remove all that unkempt hair from below the nose line. The sharp blade chafes against your skin, producing a scratching sound. The surface underneath the beard feels tender, the air brushing against it chilly. Your cheeks feel so smooth, surprisingly so. A feeling of freshness overcomes you as if you just came from a cold bath. The water reflects a vague image of your clean-shaven face. Hey. Despite the bulbous nose, unkempt hair, and persistent swelling, you look, a little younger, maybe? You almost look like a professional. Maybe that helps get rid of the expression. It did. Let's try again. Fuck. Was shaving the right call? I ask myself that all the time. Meh. Where's my suggestion buffer? Oh, there it is.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
God damn that girl, she murmurs softly. And without anger, a long and harsh life has taught her not to buckle under pressure. Yeah, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude, I've made it clear we welcome all types of people. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into? She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before, but this was different. She's good company, knows how to talk to an old woman. My age, you don't get a lot of quality conversation, so I really appreciate that about her. No, she was mostly silent, kept to herself. Tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to cast a few lines. This time, she mostly stayed in her room. Nothing of the sort. She was no stranger to the bottle. She fit in that way. But I only knew her to have a beer on the beach while watching the sunset. She isn't what you'd call a drunk. Even offered me some from time to time. Said it was part of the camioneer life. I never saw her lose control of herself the way some people do. She says meaningfully, looking at me. Want to show me a few mixtape milieus she'd made? She brushes her forehead with the back of her hand. Water drips to the ground. Although I guess she was pretty handy with mechanical and technical stuff. Even fixed the heater in the shack. You should be thankful for that. The truth, sire. She believes it. Well, I mean something. Tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that door screeched like a cat in heat. Woke me up. Heard her rushing in those heavy boots, heading up north. It's a peninsula. She might be trapped. You'll never find her, you know. Her tone is without malice. She knows the coast like the back of her hand. You only just arrived. It's a white check, huh? Let's give it a shot then. It's in her best interest to listen to you. You know how the world works. Perhaps some financial compensation would change your mind? I've heard that pitch before plenty. Build this, build that. New jobs, new blood. Somehow the people here always end up holding the short end of the stick. You dropped on the head as a kid. Can't live off of pittance. And who takes the cream of these deals? Real estate developers, construction companies, restaurant owners, Claire's accountants, La Delta. Have some integrity. You're an officer of the law, not some fat slug's corrupt little crony. It's okay, she's emotional right now. Keep at it. If you do find her, go easy on her. She's a good girl. Okay. But what I really want to do, now that Kitsuragi's gone, is I can go ask, what's her name, about myself. Dusty shelves and a forgotten chair. Wait. I didn't realize I was walking to a building. +2 drama, huh? Origin du disco. Shoulder between the thighs with a page 3 girl. Guess that's one possible origin for disco. You find the karaoke tape? What did I buy? I bought the boombox. I don't think I found the karaoke tape yet. Karaoke is on the priority list for sure. I got the tape player, but no tape. Here, Gart, you can have this piece of taxidermy.
Can I help you?
Wait, should I just give this to him? Why? I don't need his help anymore. I can just pawn that shit. Fuck Gart.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway, I reminded you that you're a police officer. Hey, I avoided you that morning. It's the usual ruckus, loud disco music. Can't say if you had any visitors. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo. Oh yes, various artists. Ostentatious orchestration, prime among them. She arches her eyebrow, waiting for it to connect with you. Oh, that. Yeah, the less said about OO, the better. OO were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, 7. Life gets hard, but we go on. I don't know about that. Around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace. A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it. Yeah, this was it. There was a church in there. Really small church, like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also that it doesn't matter anymore, and that we are alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it. When you say wounded, do you mean that in a cool way, like a wild beast? Yes, it was very cool. Hey, thanks. It's impossible to say whether she's being sarcastic. I'm not sure it's impossible to say. I think we know whether she's being sarcastic when she says I was very cool. Well, then you started screaming and trashed the place. Window was smashed, tape player probably, the song stopped, and furniture too. It was a real destructathon. They were screaming, then I think you passed out. It prides me to hear this. Tell me there was more. Yeah, there was more. I think screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I might have misheard, but it was sort of memorable, honestly. I went out after that. Everything was quiet around 4 or 5, and that was it. No problem. Well, I don't want to be this type of animal anymore. I can't relate with that. Wait until you sing it again for karaoke. I can't wait, dude. Is there anything else I want to do without Kim? I guess he wouldn't like me pawning the evidence, so maybe I should do that if I want the money. Now I don't really need money that much. I mean, it couldn't hurt though. You can also pawn this creepy owl. Don't know anything for her yet. I spent this whole day. I never checked out what happened with the spiked borscht, because I never went in that direction. Maybe some bad shit went down and I completely missed it. It's getting late. I want to be an efficient cop tomorrow. I gotta turn in soon.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Feels like he would have accepted the risk if he hoped to profit from it. It's not greed, though. Deep down, he's a gambler. Huh. Creepy taxidermy? Say fuck a Gart? If I need the money, I'll come back. Hang on to it until then, just in case. I didn't mean to do that. Oops. Time to call it a day. Across the room, the heating system hums its soft lullaby. The mattress feels soft and sheets warm. Only takes you moments for the world to fall away.
Thoughts, baby. A million little lights in the dark. You're one fine instrument, brother. All those faces and all those names. All that laughter and screaming and scheming around. Every corner and every street. Recorded in you forever on Faraday. On and on it goes, for untold hours. At the disco where you first asked her to dance. Rising, rising. Above the dark curvature, the great wingspan of sleep. Studded with stars. Behold, there are millions of them down there. The first time, the last time. The smoke in her mouth, the potted flowers, the faces turning, changing. It's the world, Harry boy, and you're made of it. Every day you're out there, you make more of yourself from it. I'm afraid you can't be unmade now. You can never forget this shit. Beautiful. It's stuck on loop, whirling, spitting out words and images. You're the son of the world again. Harrister, a ceaseless agent. Picking up litter and old newspapers. Collecting your little bubblegum wrappers and idiotic picture postcards. Meaningless, meaningless keepsakes. Reading your awful letters and recalling things, aren't you? The endless names of the world. An address book you are. The map of a city. You'll go insane if you keep going like this. One more day, and you'll be in the loony bin.
I just know you will. And for what, brother man?
Solving your little crossword puzzles, doing your tasks, crossing names off your lists, trying to become some sort of world detector. It won't make it okay. It won't put smoke back in her mouth. 'Cause only love can break your heart.
Try to be sure right from the start.
Beep, beep, beep. The alarm is ringing, Harry. The disco circus goes on and on. You barely slept 3 hours last night.
Solve the world. Sounds good. That's what a detective does. Well, it's been going about 2 hours. I'll call it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll continue in the next day or so. See you later.